Hi, welcome back to Engine Shop Joe. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about water and fuel. Not so much on a truck, but this relates more to the big bulk storage tanks. So if you pull your fuel out of bulk tanks, or if you own bulk tanks, Cummins has they actually point to a document made by a laboratory that you can use to do a visual check of how much percentage of water is in your fuel. So you take the sample and you mix it all, you shake it up, and you just set a clear container of fuel down in front of this document that I'll have up that you can print. And then I'll put up a slide that shows a visual of that demonstrates how much water is in the fuel by amounts. So that kind of gives you an idea then of how bad your tanks are in terms of water intrusion. So let's take a look at this. It's not something that I ever used, but when I saw it, it was intriguing. And then I'm going to put up a bulletin number, and I call it the scary bulletin because on the bulletin it tells you, it's from Cummins, and it tells you what you need to do to the fuel systems on the common rail engines if they get water in them, or if they get gasoline in them, or if they get DEF fluid in them. And there's a little different procedure for some, and some it's not so bad, and some it's not so good. So you can get that bulletin off of QuickServe online, again, by typing the bulletin number. When you go on the opening page of QuickServe, the top right corner where it says all engines, put that in the search bar, the bulletin number, hit enter, the bulletin will come up, you can print the whole thing and read it. So let's take a look at this tool that they have for visually seeing how much water's in the fuel. This is the document you're going to print. You can print this, you can tape it to a piece of cardboard or something, and that's going to sit behind your container of fuel. Let's take a look at what you'll see next when you do this test. Okay, here's the actual visuals of what you would see. So if you've got 0 milliliter of water dilution per your whole quantity of fuel, you're going to see on the left, you can see all 5 of the lines pretty clearly. If you just have 1 milliliter of water dilution by percent of the total, then you're going to have the bottom line missing, as you can see. And then it just goes downhill from there. If you're at 1.7, pretty much you've got a lot of water in your fuel. This is the bulletin that I told you about that you can download that tells you what to do, whether if your fuel got contaminated with water, gas, or DEF. Now, mind you, this is talking about water or DEF or gas actually getting up into the common rail through the filters. If you've got it in your fuel tank or your primary filter and you discovered it right away and it didn't get through the filter on the engine, then you don't have to go to extremes, the extremes that this bulletin will mention to you. But if someone gets, we had a customer that they stopped and the guy put like 50 gallons of DEF in the fuel tank, and then he drove the machine until it stopped. And the party was over on that one. I mean, we had to do the extreme, pretty much the entire fuel system, all the lines, everything, including the fuel filter head on the engine that the filter screws on, and the gear pump, and the electric lift pump, and it was just very expensive. So the bulletin tells you what you need to do so that when you get done, you don't have any more problems. And of course, your fuel system is cleaned out and you've got fuel in the fuel tanks, DEF in the DEF tanks, and water where it belongs in the radiator. Now, I just wanted to make you aware that you can test the fuel this way. You can Google how to do this kind of testing properly. There's other YouTube channels from labs that show in-depth testing, but I wanted you to be aware of it, and I wanted you to be aware of this document, service bulletin, if you had a problem with water and fuel and got water or DEF or whatever up in your injectors. Thanks for joining me at Engine Shop Joe. See you next time.